It's your host, AP. Let's talk about it. Let's go. I got something to say. Welcome to the Galaxy Sports Supreme GSS podcast. And today we talking about reasons why Bud will fall to Canelo. I don't see how Bud can win this fight, and I see all the advantages for Canelo. I just do not see advantages for Bud at 168. I don't. So let's run them down. So number one, Bud has been out the ring for more than a year when this fight happens. We all know about ring rust, which is real. You can't deny that, right? We know Bud is going to be 38 around fight time. We know that also. To me, Bud had ample opportunity to take a tune-up fight in between and kind of stay sharp because that's his thing, but he didn't do it. So, again, number one, been out the ring more than a year. Number two, now we've seen the Canelo fights. He's taking punches from Triple G, Daniel Jacobs, big punches. Never seen him wobble before, ever. Ever. I think maybe early in his career, very early in his career, he might have been on the canvas once. But this is before he became Canelo Alvarez. So, you're going up to 168 and you're facing the guy with the best chin in boxing, right? You went to 154, you fought Madrimov, and you couldn't wobble Madrimov, you couldn't hurt Madrimov, you couldn't put Madrimov on the canvas. So now you're going up to 168. What is Bud going to do against Canelo's chin? Now, if he has some horseshoes in his gloves, maybe. But let's be honest. I don't see a way Bud can hurt Canelo. I just don't. Now, this is boxing. Anything can happen. Canelo has a lot of miles on his tires. True. But the odds of Bud hurting Canelo, I don't see it. I just can't see it. I give it a less than 5% chance, which is a chance. But I don't see it. So that was the second reason. Third reason. When Bud fought Errol Spence, that was a great performance. That was a masterclass performance. I salute. Okay. You went to 54, Bud fought Madrimov. We were expecting to see that great Terrence Crawford we saw against Errol Spence, against Madrimov. Was not there. Was not there. Simple. What we saw was a good fighter. A good fighter who eked out a unanimous decision, but those scorecards were very close. Those scorecards were very close. I think he won by 2-3 points. Much closer than any one of us would have imagined. We thought we was going to flatline Madrimov. We never heard of Madrimov. He only had a limited amount of professional fights. So, Bud was great against Errol Spence. Great. Madrimov, very good. Now, as Bud is now getting older, I think we're going to see only a good Bud Crawford in this fight. As you get older, as a fighter gets older, especially the latter stages of 38 years old, 40 years old, typically you don't get great again. It doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. We know Father Time is undefeated. We've heard that hundreds of times in boxing, millions of times in boxing, but it's true. Like people say, Bud is going to be faster. How can you be faster when you just gain an additional 14 pounds of muscle and fat? It's impossible. It's impossible to be faster. It's impossible for Bud to be as fast as he was at 154. Period. There is no way Bud can be faster. No way. And again, Father Time is undefeated. Whether it catches up with him in this fight or if Bud continues to fight after this fight, eventually it will catch up with you and you might get knocked out the ropes. So again, you won't see if it caught up to him in training camp. The only time you'll have an idea is when the fight happens and you be like, oh shit, yeah. Father Time done caught up with him. Punches are coming slower, reflexes a little slower. Things that Bud Crawford rely on, his reflexes. As you get older, they go away. What stays with you is the power. The power stays there. You could carry power much later on in your boxing career. But speed and reflexes, those are two things that Father Time robs you. And the number one reason, the fifth reason, the number one reason why I feel Canelo will win this fight, Bud going into his biggest fight in his career, you would think he would take a tune-up, light touch, whatever you want to call it, at 168 to get used to the weight, get used to how the punches feel, how his body feels going 12 rounds or whatever, how his legs are going to feel utilizing movement. He didn't take a tune-up fight. And consequently, at 168, this is Bud's first fight, obviously, but Canelo has had more than 6 years at this weight class. He's completely acclimated. Everyone Canelo fights is bigger than him. Caleb Plant, Jaime Munguia, John Ryder, William Skull looked like a fucking bodybuilder. And out of all those fighters I named, he put all of them on the canvas except William Skull because he couldn't catch up with him. He even made Jermell Charlo take a knee. So Canelo was used to fighting much bigger guys, taking much bigger punches from naturally bigger guys. Bud isn't. Why he didn't take that light touch at 168, I can't tell you. But to move around the ring with an additional 14 pounds on you, I have a tendency to think Bud is going to get tired or tired out by 7th or 8th round. I believe he's going to employ movement. I believe it was Bomac who said, instead of Canelo sparring Boots, he should have been sparring Skull. Why would he say that? Why would he say that? I believe the reason why he said that is because a part of their game plan is going to be utilizing a lot of movement. Period. To be honest, that's a smart move to an extent, but you're not going to get the decision with too much movement. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Madrimov landed 65 power punches on Bud Crawford. 65. Look at the punch stats. So I can't help to think, can Bud take 65 power punches from Canelo Alvarez? I tend to say probably not. Probably not. I can't see it. I just can't. Madrimov was a decent puncher, nothing big, but he was able to hit Bud essentially whenever he wanted to hit Bud, he was there, he was hitting him with good shots. Real good shots. I just think no tune-up at 168. Canelo is used to the weight. I just don't see any advantages. Now, people saying, I believe it was Tim Bradley, he said Bud has to fight like Bivol. Come on. Fuck out of here. He can't fight like Bivol. Bud is not as big as Bivol. He doesn't have reach like Bivol. He is not as active as Bivol. There are no way, shape, or form equal fighters in terms of their fighting style. They do not fight the same. There is no way Bud can fight like Bivol. And if you remember, the Bivol-Canelo fight, Bivol dominated, right? He dominated that fight. Did you see them damn scorecards? Remember those scorecards? He barely won. He barely won, and he dominated the fight. Dominated. So you got to ask yourself, what the hell is Bud going to do to get a decision? How? He's not going to outdo Bivol. Now, what Bud is, he's a sharp fighter. Reminds me of Too Sharp Johnson, Pernell Whitaker. Real sharp. He's judicious with his punches. Sharp counterpuncher. But again, he's not Bivol. I'm going to give Bud one pathway to a possible decision. And it's very unlikely. Possible, but not probable. Bud is going to have to put Canelo on the canvas. At least a knockdown. At least a knockdown. And that doesn't even guarantee him getting a decision. Now, the odds of him doing that, I think, are very small. I give him a 5% chance at best. But just looking at Madrimov, Bud is not a big puncher. He wins by accumulation of punches. That's the only way Bud gets a decision. And let's be honest, guys. It's politics in boxing. And this is Canelo. It's very hard to get a decision. Ask Bivol. He got the decision, but look at those scorecards. To be honest with you, Canelo is already up 5-0 on the scorecard right now. You know I'm telling the truth. It's unfortunate. This is boxing. It's politics. Who does Turkey have the most money behind? He stands to lose money if Canelo loses. Turkey is invested in Canelo. Period. He's talking about fighting Hamzat Shiraz next fight. He's not talking that if Bud wins and Canelo loses a decision. So, bare no bones, Turkey and Bud in the ring holding hands. The hand that Turkey is holding is Canelo. Believe me, that's who he has the 3-4 fight deal with, not Bud. So, with that being said, Bud's only shot is to get a knockdown. If he could get a knockdown, that'd be incredible. A knockout, that would be incredible. But if he does not knock Canelo down, I see no way Bud gets a decision. I just don't. I don't see it. So, until next time, take care of yourself. Don't forget, your health is your wealth. Later.